Beautiful boxing fans, let me tell you this. 3 of Canelo's past opponents came out and they talked about his power. I'm gonna play you the audio and we're gonna react to it. So we got Dmitry Bivol talking about Canelo's power. We got Gennady Golovkin talking about Canelo's power. And we got Liam Smith. You probably forgot that Canelo fought Liam Smith, right? All 3 men talked about Canelo's power. And all 3 of them basically said that Canelo isn't really the hardest hitter in the world. But I know exactly what they're talking about, and I'm going to tell you what makes Canelo special and why Canelo demands all the respect in the world with his presence and his skills inside the ring. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to read you what Golovkin and Bivol said, and then I'm going to play you the audio of Liam Smith, and you're going to want to hear this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's get into it. Gennady Golovkin, Boxing News, asked him simply, how do you rate Canelo's power? He had a short answer. It wasn't hard. But of course, we're talking about Golovkin, the man with the probably top 3, him and Canelo and Hagler. They have the 3 greatest probably chins ever. But this is what Dmitry Bivol said about Canelo's power. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the man said. Let me read to you what Dmitry Bivol said about Canelo Alvarez's power. Give me exactly 1 second. There we go. Bivol said, to be honest, as a light heavyweight, I didn't feel like he had that power that you get from birth. I felt like he was just putting everything he can into every punch and trying to make it powerful. Now, why? Of course Canelo hits hard. When you sit down in a power stance, in a wide stance, and you're compact like Canelo and you throw bombs, of course your shots will hurt. But the reason why Bivol said this is because when he compared his power to Beterbiev, and hold on, I'm going to play you now the Liam Smith audio, you're going to want to hear it. What he's talking about is that, Beterbiev, he wasn't loading up on anything. He was just touching Bivol, and Bivol said like his fists felt like rocks. This is natural power. But Canelo, because he's going up in weight, and because he was fighting Bivol, much bigger man, he wanted to gain respect, and that is why he was throwing absolute bombs. And I actually watched that Bivol fight 2 days ago. And the reason why Canelo gassed out so early in the fight is because Canelo was putting so much into every shot, and he wanted to gain Bivol's respect, but Bivol was covering up so well, Canelo was only able to land a few good uppercuts and mainly landing on Bivol's forearms and biceps. But this is what Liam Smith had to say. Let's talk about it. This is the most interesting one. Liam Smith, small man, his career was from 147 to 160. So he's not the size of Bivol and Golovkin.
For Canelo, wow, does he punch hard? And I'm like, no.
What was his power like?
Okay, no, that's a question the average man asks on the street. For Canelo, wow, does he punch hard? And I'm like, no.
Really?
Not no, because he does, but I've been harder inspired enough people and more how good he was. Like I said before, he had me twitching. His relaxed shoulders, his relaxed style just had me like they were feints. I fell short with a jab. Next time I threw it, he went to slip right hand, and I just thought, I'm not getting it, but that in round 1. I've been in the ring for 10 minutes with the national anthems, the ring walk, I'm in the ring first. Thought he's not hitting me with that first. He knocked me clean out round 1. So he just constantly had me. His edge. Again, I was happy with the fight I got because he was there to be it. But defensively, he's got one of the best defenses in the world. Like I say, he's getting older now. He's getting a little bit more marked up at the end of the fights now. His defense was unbelievable. Rider shot that. Yeah, just how he does that, and still never being dropped. I think he's a special fighter.
Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this, please focus with me for a second. First of all, shout out to his accent. I mean, the Scouser accent is absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But getting back to what Liam said, the reason why Canelo is so good isn't because of his power. It's because of his skill. And let me tell you this, I said this in all of my past videos about Canelo, I'll say it again. I have never watched as much Canelo tape as I have over the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And every time I watch Canelo tape, I'll tell you this. Canelo and Crawford are the two greatest fighters my eyes ever saw. Why? Because Canelo is the greatest pressure fighter slash counter puncher when he mixes both together in history. Greatest in history. When you talk about being a pressure fighter slash counter puncher. And that's not because of power. That's purely because of skill. And if Canelo beats Crawford, I guarantee you it won't be because of his power. It will be because of his skill. Canelo didn't beat Golovkin because of his power. Canelo didn't beat Caleb Plant because of his power. Canelo didn't become two-time 168-pound champion undisputed because of his power. Canelo isn't one of the greatest fighters in history and top two greatest fighters my eyes ever saw, him and Crawford, because of his power. No, it's because of his skill. It's because the man feints. Like Liam said, he feints with his eyes, with his hips, with his relaxed shoulders, with his upper body, with his lower body, with his lead hand, with his backhand, with his punch selection. He keeps on feinting. So your alarm system, your reaction, your nervous system is like this, is ringing from the opening bell to the final bell. Why? Is because Canelo exhausts you with his feints, which is why I said that his presence is so respected in the ring, is because of the way that he feints. And the more he keeps on feinting, the more you will be open to power shots. And that is why Canelo has knocked out God knows how many men. Why? Is not because of his punch power, is because of the skill, aka his feints, his upper body movement, his IQ, the way that he adjusts, which will result in a knockout. And same thing goes for Bud Crawford. But Crawford got, my goodness, I mean, what is he, like 40-0 with 31 knockouts? But Crawford, I mean, him and Canelo, of course they can crack. Of course they got dynamite in both fists. But dynamite is useless when you're not able to plant the bomb. And let me tell you, I have never seen anyone plant the bomb as perfect as Bud and Canelo do it. I promise you. And the more tape I watch of Canelo and Bud, the more my mind and eyes get opened to what you call fight IQ, boxing IQ, adjustments, being dynamic inside the ring, being charismatic inside, not being charismatic with your short color, but being charismatic with the way you operate inside the ring, with the way you deal with adversity, with the way you discipline younger fighters, with the way you handle pressure. Whoever wins this fight between Bud Crawford and Canelo, it won't be because of a knock, even though both can win by KO, both can win by decision, both can win by split decision, the possibilities for this fight are endless, and the opportunities are endless for both men. Why? Because special fighters are born to do special things, and both men got such a elite level of skills that they can open up opportunities and possibilities in the fight based on their defense, based on their IQ, their shot selection, and most importantly, the way they plant the bomb which results in the dynamite, aka the knockout punch, aka the knockout win. Canelo got tens of knockouts, Bud got tens of knockouts, like I said, not because, if you actually think about it, Canelo Alvarez, when was the last time he touched a fighter and the fighter went to sleep, and the fighter was like his size? Amir Khan was the last deadly knockout. Amir Khan is way smaller than Canelo. Actually, he was 3 divisions smaller than Canelo when he fought him. But the reason why, when Canelo, if you actually think about it, most of his fights, Golovkin was probably his size. Golovkin, who else? You know what I mean? Like the past few opponents, whether they're like his size or bigger, the reason why he's not clocking them with one punch and they're like having like going to sleep, and even Bud, same goes for Bud, is because they are not the craziest punchers, but they have one of the craziest skills in the world. And look at this. They keep going up in weight and they keep beating opponents. Why? They both have fought fighters bigger than them. They both have fought fighters stronger than them. They both fought fighters taller, longer arms, younger. But more times than not, they come out with the victory. Why? I'll say it again. Not because of their power. Of course they can crack. But most importantly, because they are simply because they are the two most skilled fighters and greatest fighters my eyes simply ever saw.